Welcome into your tiny reading for the week. I am T from Tiny Divinations, here to break down some cards with you. So, before we get into it, you have your timestamps in the video description for each pile. If you would like to get a reading with me, you can book with me at wildheartbotanica.com. Follow me on the channel and pick the pile or piles that you are drawn to, and let's get into your reading. Welcome in pile one. Let's get into your cards. So, the first card that you have for the energy of your week is bullseye. Okay, so we either have things that we're very focused on, that we need to be focused on, we have shit to get done, we are thinking about the future, we are trying to zone in or pay attention to something. Let's get a few more cards. We also have a wall here, so we may have hit a wall with something, and part of what we need to do to move forward or to get unstuck is to focus on what we're doing, or to take a step back and to kind of reevaluate your steps or see if there are other steps that you need to take. Okay, let's see. Never give up. Phrases, motivation. Then we have traffic cone, caution, and skull endings. Okay, so like I was saying, with the people that are feeling stuck, or you're not sure how to move or where to go or what to do, the immediate card that we got after me saying that was never give up, phrases, motivation, right? So within that, like I said, don't give up, keep going, just pay more attention or focus. Like I said, some people need to kind of reroute, some people need to go back over the steps that they took and change your steps or figure out a new part of the plan kind of situation. There's something that you can hone in on that can help you with this as well. And then with the phrases of motivation, it feels like also we have to pay attention to, in terms of the energy this week, what we're inputting. So the things that you're watching, the things that you're saying to yourself, the things that you're listening to from other people, the music that you're listening to, right? So being mindful of those things, because they can color how you see yourself, your energy levels, they can color a number of different things. It feels like people are feeling really open this week, really energetically open. And so it feels like, number one, bubble up, because I said that. Number two, it feels like the energies that are around you can very much affect you this week. And with that being said, to me, that means to put in more good, right? So to add in affirmations, if you're somebody who is prone to using affirmations, add in motivational music, watch things that make you feel good or build you up or allow you to laugh and kind of feel joy. Don't intake so much news. Keep yourself aware of what's going on, but don't inundate yourself with news. Don't inundate yourself with things that make you sad or depressed or make you feel um, like you can't have or do, or something like that. That to me is also what the caution card is about. Cautioning yourself in the sense of like I said, what you intake, what you say to yourself, um, being mindful of the energies. If you are somewhere out, come back, clean yourself off, or bubble yourself up before you go out. Just be mindful, because I feel like it feels two ways, right? So for some people, it feels like I said, you're just very open and very sensitive, and so you can pick up a lot of the energy around you, and so you can pick it up, it can affect you, you can hold on to it in some ways, and you're not always super careful about cleansing yourself. Okay, so be more um mindful this week, and be putting more protections, or clear more, you know what I mean? Bubble your, and I keep saying bubble yourself up. If you're not one of my clients, if you're not somebody that's followed me for a minute, then you may not know what I mean. So when I say bubble up, I mean literally envision an energetic light around you, or a bubble around you, right? Or whatever makes you feel comfortable. So for some of my clients, they envision armor. Some people literally envision, I've had a client that envisioned what the hell you call that shit? Bubble wrap, like bubble wrap around them. You know what I mean? And it's so, the basic idea of it is that you're wrapping your energy in protective light, right? So that other people's energetic energy can't affect you, right? It can't make you sad. It can't make you angry. It can't draw off you. It can't, it just can't affect you, right? But it still allows you, if you are somebody who is empathic, or somebody, who has clairs or psychic gifts, to be able to like feel or see what's going on without having to intake it in the same way. Okay. So when I say bubble up, that is what I'm talking about. Okay. So again, the caution card to me also talks about bubbling up this week, especially next to the motivation and what we were talking about. Okay. Within that, the caution card can be this week's surprises or unexpected things, and maybe shocks, especially when it's next to the endings card, right? So there may be things that come to an end that you weren't expecting. There may be things that happen that make you have to stop, or make you have to like find a new way around, like we kind of talked about before. The other thing with the caution card is that it's a caution cone is something for you to pay attention to, right? So the other energy this week is just, again, like I said, pay attention, but not just paying attention to the things we talked about, but just paying attention to the things that are happening, to what you're doing, to the people around you. Like double check everything. It almost feels like for some people in this pile, you may be going through your own kind of Mercury retrograde situation, where you may be like saying the wrong things, or you may be making mistakes, or you may just want to like triple or double check what you're signing or what you're agreeing to at the time, because there may be caveats or things that you may not see, or things that you don't know. So just pay attention to that. We then have the endings card, the skull endings card. And the first thing that I saw when I looked at this card was actually the date in the card. It says March 11th. And uh, I don't know. I don't know why I zoned in on that, but if something happened around that date, it may be coming to like a culmination this week. It may come to, like I said, an end. It may come back up somehow, to just kind of be like completed or rounded out in some sense of the way. It just felt important for me to point that out. So yeah, and like I said, my I went there first. Like it was the very first thing that I saw in the card. So like I said before, with both of these cards together, there could definitely be something that happens this week that is unexpected, or that ends, or that is something that causes you to have to reroute, or to like change your plans, or to cut someone off or something like that. Within the endings card, though, we have this skull as well, and in the skull there is plants growing. So whatever is coming to an end, there's like something else happening behind the scenes, or something coming behind it. This could also suggest that there's a fresh start or a new beginning coming out of what's ending, or what's being changed, or what you're having to do. So if you are also somebody that has to reroute or change their plans, it feels like it'll be a short time that it'll take for you to like figure out what's next to do, or to have a new idea, or to be able to figure out what to do to move forward. Okay. So this is what I'm getting right now from the energy of the week. Let's move into some specific things that may happen. Okay, so getting into some of the specific things that may happen this week. These cards are stiff, aren't they? Okay. Yeah, you guys. So yeah, it's change. Okay. There's definite change. There's a change. Something's happening. Yeah. Yeah. But do you see? Okay. Before I get any more cards, right? Hold on. Hold on. Let's get closer. Okay, so obviously we have the death card, which is similar to the endings card, and the other deck is definitely symbolizing transition. Okay, so there's definitely something that is going to change and um, be transformed, um, be removed this week. Okay, but within getting this card, we immediately have the Queen of Wands right after that, right? And one of the first things that I went into in this card was the white flower. And so I had to look because I was like, I couldn't remember what kind of flower it was or what exactly represented in the death card. This is a red, excuse me, a white five petaled Tudor rose. Okay. It represents purity and rebirth. And so, again, you have this death card walking over. So there's something that's ending, changing, transitioning. But immediately after, you have transformation and rebirth. And in the next card, immediately after, you have like this person sitting in a throne with their power, with a sunflower, right? So we move from the flower of rebirth to the flower of success, the flower of the sun, the flower of power and confidence, okay, because it's related to the sun. So whatever is happening that's changing, immediately there's going to be something else that comes, or immediately there's going to be an answer to what to do, or immediately there's going to be some kind of transition. I had said that already with the plant and that death card, but like that just reinforces it for me with the death card and the Queen of Wands in this deck. Okay, with the death and the Tower card specifically this week, there will be things that either don't go right, or there may be some things that are upsetting this week. There may be things that are like falling apart or not coming together, or it feels like everything is kind of just happening at once. That could just be like a day of the week. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be the whole week, because again, it doesn't feel like it. In terms of specific things, we have two like not so good cards, right? And then two good cards in a sense, right? And so it doesn't feel like the whole week, but it definitely feels like there's shit that is going to go awry for people. Okay. We have the Emperor card on the bottom of the deck. And so because we have the King crown in this card at the top, and then we have this crown at the bottom, and then this person has on a crown. It's a lot of crowns, okay? So it feels like there's a lot of thoughts and opinions. There are a lot of differing beliefs or ideas on things. With the Emperor, also outside of just the crown, that being more of an Aries identity, and this being more of a Leo identity, we could have like a fight of wills, or a fight of power, like a power struggle, or two very big personalities coming together. That may be part of something that comes up for you this week in terms of people kind of clashing, or part of why things have to change or are ending, or why things aren't going exactly the way it's planned. This could also be like a fight in a sense, or like something that was building up that finally just kind of busts. That could also be the energy here. So that's part of what I'm getting from the random crowns that I just keep getting. If you are somebody that's in a position of power, try not to like trample people this week. Try not to be overly aggressive, or like, because we talked about focusing before, like be mindful of um what you're doing, and not to come at people for mistakes that you might have made, or mistakes that you think that they made that they may not have actually made. It feels like, as well as something specific that may happen this week. um yeah. Okay, but anyway, with the Page of Pentacles, if um for some reason you're in a position to have to start over this week, or to like start looking for something, or to like find something new, um focus on like what your ultimate goal is, right? Because with the Emperor at the bottom, and even the Hierophant under that, you're not a newbie. Even though you're wait let me sorry y'all you're not a newbie to what you're doing. You have experience, you have skills. So like, go into it thinking that kind of way. Don't go into, even if it's something new, thinking that like you're at like a page point in this, right? Because you really have more power, agency, and knowledge than you are giving yourself credit for, right? The Queen of Wands also, it feels like there is a sense of people needing to just like be confident. Whatever the fuck is going on this week, whatever happens, just know, like, you know what, whatever, like, it is what it is. I'm gonna be good either way. I'm always good, you know. And there's this way that you have to kind of like keep this energy, you know, like keep this mindset, you know. This week may also be about taking time away to like focus on something that you've been wanting to do for you, or focus on a goal that you have, or focus on something that you're trying to grow, or something that you're trying to gain, or something like that. with the Hierophant and the Emperor, like I said before, part of what may come up with the disruption or the chaos may have to do with authority figures. It may have to do with like um, either your boss or like your landlord, or if you have to go to the airport and you're like dealing with TSA who is now fucking ICE or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Or you have to go to court, or you're like wind up dealing with like a judge or the police, or you know what I mean, or like just somebody who is in a higher position than you are, or seemingly has more power than you do, that's just like um fucking with you, or like may also be gunning for you, and that may be why the situation comes to a head for some people, you know. I'm going to move to the power of surrender to see anything else that may be coming up this week. Surrender comparisons with other people. Keep your eyes trained on yourself. Focus on your own strengths, attractiveness, and power. Like I said before, you have it, right? You have skills, you have attractiveness, you have strengths, you have power. So focus on that and sit in that this week. Don't allow other people to kind of take that from you, or don't allow yourself to get sidetracked by other people and, you know, what they're trying to put on you or their shit, you know? Surrender your attachment to results. The formula for success is to do all you can to make things happen. Let go of the results. Holding on too tight to a desired outcome can sabotage it. Okay. So, again, like I said, there's definitely something that is either not going to go the way you want it to, or it's going to go awry, or it's going to end, or something like that. And so, like, have the energy this week. It is what it is. I'm always good either way. Okay. And that will definitely help with whatever comes up. Is there anything else? Oh, I wish I would have saw that. Anyway, surrender to divine timing. Sometimes divine timing may differ from your ego's timing. If a goal isn't manifesting fast enough according to your ego, be patient and trust the universal flow. Okay. And then surrender obsessive thinking. If you're obsessive about a person or situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help bring clarity or even solve the problem. So there's also something about this for some people who are like um fixating on something too much, or like your fear and anxiety is like overtaking the situation, and that shit could send the energy and color it and make it not in your favor, you know. For some people, like the if the decision's already made, the energy's already in motion, right? But for other people, there's a way in which like you're putting negativity on it, you're putting your emotional baggage on it, which is then like making the universe, you know, give you exactly what the fuck you think you're gonna get, or what you want, or you know what I mean. So like that's part of what comes up with this as well. So again, your motto for the week, pile one, and I need to write this down somewhere so that I remember it. Your quote for this week is, "It is what it is. I am good either way." Okay. So we're gonna get you some words of wisdom after this, but that for me, that's your words of wisdom. Okay. That's the quote. It is what it is. I am good either way. Put it on a post-it, baby. Put it in the mirror. Okay. So let's move on and get you some words of wisdom and wrap up your reading. All right. So we are using our affirmators to get you some words of wisdom for the week. Okay. We have story of my life and letting go. Story of my life. As I tell myself the story of what's happening in my life, I choose to make it the kind of story where even the tough parts have a sort of inner beauty. It's ultimately a happy story where every character, no matter how wicked, is doing their best. And let me tell you, it'll be worth it when I earn that Pulitzer Prize for the best inner monologue. Letting go. I don't dwell on bad things that happened. I let things go because I have enough heavy things to carry around. And also, grudges aren't a great look. Just sums all of that right on up. Okay. So, this was your words of wisdom, pile one. And this was your reading for this week. So, thank you so much for reading with me. Please let me know how this reading makes sense. Let me know what resonates for you. Let me know what changes and endings are coming. Let's just talk, okay? If you would like your own reading, book with me at wildheartbotanica.com. If you aren't already following the channel, follow the channel. If you aren't already subscribed to the podcast, Tiny Musings, so you can hear our March Tiny Collective readings, part 1 and 2, definitely subscribe on Substack or Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. And follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Tiny Divination. So, again, thank you so much for reading with me. I appreciate y'all so much. I hope you have a wonderful week. You are not what happens to you. You will survive, okay? You will thrive. This is just one day, one moment, one week, okay? If you have another pile, I will see you there. If not, I appreciate you and I will see you in our next reading. Welcome in pile one. Let's get into your cards. So, the first card that you have is Hello Again, Recycle, Recover. So, the first thing that this card made me think of is that you have been carrying around way too much baggage. You're carrying around way too many either things that aren't yours, like meaning things that are going on with other people that you are like holding on to as if they are your problems, that you're trying to fix as if they're your problems. For some people, you're holding on to too many things in terms of saying yes to too many things and just having too many things to fucking do, or just being overwhelmed with responsibilities. For other people, and this could be yes ands, like alsos, ors for some people. Okay, for other people, it definitely feels like you had a time of overwhelm, and this week is about you, um, like kind of recovering because you already planned to recover. For the people that I talked about before, y'all need to make a recovery plan. Okay. For some people, you are already in that place and you're just like, girl, I've been there, done that. I'm in the plan. Okay. And so like there's a number of different like ways that we're moving through this recovery right now. Okay. Again, for the people that I talked about initially, um the for everybody else besides the people that had already made a recovery plan, right? It feels like part of why this is happening is like a rinse and repeat situation. Like, so for example, if you were one of the people that I said that has too many responsibilities or things are overwhelming you, right? You're not taking the time out to edit things. And then when people ask you if you want to do things or if you can do something for them, if you can take care of something or if you can look into this or blah blah blah, you take it on, you take it on, you take it on, you take it on, then you wind up overwhelmed, and it just happens over and over. It's just like a cycle, you know. For the people that are holding on to too much baggage and the emotional baggage and the things. Again, it's like it feels like you go through a situation and you like replay it in your mind, and you replay it and you replay it and you replay it, and then it brings you to a different point and it brings you down, and then you know it's just like then that takes you to a different place, and it just feels like kind of a cycle that we in both situations are kind of trying to break out of, especially this week. Okay, so that's a little bit of what I'm getting from this. Let's pull some more cards and get a little bit more of the energy for this week. So there's energy of recovery this week. There's also energy of rejuvenation. There's energy of taking things and something being used for something else, or something looking a new way, or like something having a new life. So that's also a part of the energy. So let's get some more cards and see what other energies we have this week. Okay. So looking into what other energies are at play for pile two's week. So looking at what other energies are at play for pile two's week, we have ancestry, infinity, unlimited potential, and power lines energy. Okay, so the first thing I looked at with the tree ancestry card was straight into the actual picture of the tree. And it made me think of recycling and trees and like recycling paper and that having to do with saving trees and things like that. So there may be some aspect of the recovery that you have to do this week, the thing that you're recovering from, the things that you're healing, that may have to do with your family, that may have to do with your lineage, that may have to do with things that you were taught or things that you learned as a, from family members or from, your family in general, or things that you inherited from your bloodline. It may also be that part of what you need to recover is to like go home, or is to go to family, or is to get family help, or is to like work with your ancestors, or work within finding more about your family, or like looking at pictures, or something like that, right? There's also this energy with the ancestry and the recovery of the cycle for people that have to like pivot, or finding new plans, or having to like reconfigure something. There may be somebody, either somebody in your family that is alive that can help you, or that you want to run this past, and or there may be ancestral help that you can receive from them by asking for it. Okay, so definitely utilize that this week as well. But there are definitely a few different aspects of family that may come in, and then with the family reunion on the shirt, it may be that you are in contact with somebody, or somebody contacts you, or that somebody pops up, or you're reminded of family or your ancestors in some kind of way that's relevant to you this week, or that you even want to do something to honor your ancestors this week, because we have, just give you a closer look at the tree. We have the honoring your roots and the family reunion at the top, that has the roots on the bottom. So it's very as above, so below, and vice versa. Okay, so then we have our infinity, unlimited potential. So again, the things that you draw up this week, the things that you come up with, don't box yourself in. Allow yourself to think outside the box. Allow yourself to think different routes, or go different paths that you might not go. You like coloring outside the lines type of energy. It definitely also feels like we need to get our ideas down on paper, or like to talk them out, or to write them out somehow, so that you can see them all. It may give you new ideas for things. It may help you recognize what's the right ideas, or what needs to go, or things like that. But it, like, putting it down makes it real, it makes it actionable, and it helps you to be able to sort through your thoughts, or to sort through your ideas, or the things that you think as well this week. It feels like there are some people that for you it's about creating, and being less constricted, and there's energy around you just kind of like flowing more. Part of your recovery is about being able to flow. It's about being able to have freedom. It's about like almost kind of just like being a blob in a sense, because I feel like you take on so much, because I feel like you have had an overwhelming time, because um you may have to like go back to the drawing board on something. You've been working on it a lot. Like, these are all and ors, right? It feels like you need to just kind of do something that allows you to not think, that's mindless, to just be, to just like collapse into, in a sense. So that's part of what the infinity, unlimited potential brings up. If you are someone who's trying to have connection with your ancestors, there is also unlimited potential for that. It feels like it's a right time. Like I was saying, to pile one, it feels like right now people's energies are very open and heightened, and that goes both ways through many different dimensions. You know what I mean? So it feels like that's something that you're also able to tap into, the back and forth, the connection, the as above, so below. There's a way in which you are more able to receive information, or to connect, or to feel like what you're receiving is real this week. And there's definitely energy around that with the energy card that we have, with the power lines in the energy card. It just feels like there's literal connections that are happening this week. There's cross connections. There are things that are being heard and intuited and understood, and being like, there's information that can be transferred, and because we talked about ancestry and our spiritual connection, I feel like that goes um both ways, like them giving it to you, but you also being able to get, your wants, your prayers, your thoughts, your needs out to them, and being able to see what happens, because the potential for what could happen is unlimited. So I mentioned this in pile one, and I want to mention it again because we have the energy card, right? So, like I said, our energies are very heightened right now. It feels like we are very open. And so, what I tell my clients to do, I've been saying this for years, is to bubble up. Now, I call it bubbling up because I envision a bubble around me. I literally am Bubble Boy, okay? And I envision a bubble around me that is my protection. Okay. And that bubble can be of whatever color you want it to be, but it is energetically around you to protect you from other people's energies, to protect you from, things in the air and the atmosphere in terms of like energetically, okay, like frequency wise. And so for you, that can look like a bubble. It can look like armor. It could look like a fence. It could look like whatever you want it to look like, but envision it around your person, going like, a few feet above you and a few feet below you. Make sure it's malleable so that you're able to like envision yourself moving through things. It doesn't get popped. No one can get into it. They can't get through it. Like I said, it can be any color or material that you want it to be, but you will put that on when you're going outside, when you're going into crowded spaces, when you're dealing with people who drain you or, cause you to have um, erratic emotions. You know what I mean? Anytime when you would be interacting with other people's energy fields, so that you're not taking on their energy, so that you're not taking on their emotions, so that you aren't affected by the things around you, right? In terms of physically or emotionally or even mentally, right? Because all of those things can happen. So because we have this card, again, it feels very heightened this week. It feels like people are very open. It feels like people are very susceptible to things. But within that energy, we also have the energy of being able to make shit happen and to energetically send shit out and see it fire off, or to see it get communicated, or to receive communications that we may not be able to have received previously, or to receive this clearly, or received in the same way that we receive it now, kind of thing. And so this week is definitely like um a very palpable week for you to make shit happen, to call shit in, to talk to people, I shouldn't say things, to communicate with the other sides, okay, to like play dimensionally and things, like all kinds of things are happening here, okay, but make sure that you are recovering, make sure that you're protecting yourself, okay, because there is unlimited potential and you may not be ready or aware of all the things that can happen, okay. So like, that was a lot, but it was good. It was a lot, but it was good. Okay, let's move into some specific things that may happen this week. Okay, so moving into some specific things that may happen this week. Oh, okay. We have the Eight of Pentacles, which is actually reversed. Okay. Okay, so we have the Eight of Pentacles reverse, the Strength card, the Magician, the Two of Cups, and the Six of Pentacles. So some specific things that may happen this week. We definitely have the work, the duties, the daily tasks card, the like worried about responsibilities and monetary things card reversed. Okay, so it feels like to me, and reversals can mean a number of different things, but in this sense, in this reading, it feels like we are supposed to take a step away. Okay, taking a step away from the work that we're doing, the work that we do, taking a step away from something specific there, like a project, taking a step away from some specific responsibility, or responsibilities in a way, taking a break, taking vacation days, asking somebody to come and like babysit for a second so you can get. Sorry, y'all, we got cut off a little bit there. But basically, I was saying just like taking time out, like taking a break, taking time out. Okay. Within the strength card, some of the specific things that we have here is like you have this person who has on this dress, they have on the flowers on their belt, on their crown. The lion has a lei on, so it's very soft. There's like, it reminded me almost like of a hippie energy, getting back in tune with nature, getting back in tune with yourself, the things around you, the connections that are around you. It feels like slowing down. It feels like getting outside. It feels like some people some people are shopping like for natural fabrics, or like shopping for things that are local or feel good. It's like something about like sustainable shopping is something that could come up this week as well. Part of the specific energy that comes up in the strength card this week is about not brute strength for some people in this pile two. It feels like strength to you has to do with what you're doing, or what you can physically hold, or how much you can take, or like what you can get done, you know. And this week is not about that at all. The strength this week comes from knowing, especially with the flowers on the crown. It's from like knowing when you need to be nurtured, knowing when to nurture others, knowing when to slow down, knowing when to take time for yourself, knowing when to tend to yourself and care for yourself. Like that's part of the energy that comes up this week. This ease, this flow, um, this knowing, this softness, this nurturing, this like mental excuse me, this emotional strength over like mental or physical strength. Okay. With the magician, it feels like we're going to be trying different things this week. The part that really is really important to me that I first looked at when I looked at the magician was the idea that like as above, so below comes back in. You have that magician pointing. Let me pull it closer. You have the magician pointing to the sky here, okay, and then pointing to the ground. So what happens there happens here. What happens there happens up there, right? All of these things are related and actionable and can influence each other. So again, it doubled down to me on the idea of like doing works this week, getting your prayers in, petitioning, speaking out loud the things you want, calling in the things you want, putting in the affirmations. I don't know if you've seen the video of the little boy, beautiful, genius little black boy, okay, who was basically saying that like he talks to himself in the mirror because the mirror is how you can talk to yourself in other dimensions. It's the only way here that you can talk to yourself in other dimensions. And so he consistently talks to himself in the mirror and tells himself good things. And like, hello, baby, yes. Did I immediately start doing it? Of course. Why would I not listen to that little genius? You should listen to him too. Okay. So this is kind of the energy that this card feels like, right? Like putting that the affirmations are speaking to yourself in that mirror with what you have and what you know are calling in for yourself, and having that shit manifest in every dimension, including this one. Okay. It also feels like being very actionable this week. It feels like people are like making choices and plans. You are deciding, you're letting people know what it is, even if it's not necessarily your energy to do that. There's ways in which this week that you are like making decisions and choices for yourself, or picking up and trying different things. You're more open to trying different things this week, especially if, like I said, we're letting go, or we're removing ourselves, or we're trying to actually get that recovery in. Then part of what we are doing this week is we're going to try new things, is we're going to call in new things, is we're going to um, like throw spaghetti at the wall to an extent and see what fits, so that you can um, get some of that recovery that you need, or so that you can get more of a balance to things, you know. It feels like with the flowers, because we have the flowers on the crown here, we have the flowers up here, we have the flowers down here. So there's a lot of potential, there's a lot of energy, like we had in that energy card with the power lines. So within this, it may also be about if you're somebody who practices different things, or if you're somebody who like um tries different things. Like there may be like there, and I hate that saying, so I don't want to say that. We're not skinning no cats around here, but there are many different ways to get things done. Okay, so like you may try to do a couple of different things this week. You may try to implement things a couple of different ways just to see like what works, what you like. You may just be trying new things in general this week, outside of like doing works or practice, or like practitioner works or anything like that. It feels like there's a confidence to us this week. And then moving into the Two of Cups, like I said, to me, this is partially about balance. There's also something about like people going to the doctor's office. You may be going to the doctor's office this week. I feel like if you are going to the doctor's office this week and you are worried or thinking like you don't know what's going on, or you're looking for answers or something, I feel like either you're going to get a call from the doctor and you're going to get answers this week, or that you will get an answer to what's going on with you this week, and then be able to like look deeper into finding a solution for that. If something's been going on with you, you may definitely want to call this week to try to find a solution to whatever has been going on with you. Don't deal with this by yourself. You know, you're not alone, and you can definitely get help, especially this week, especially with the Six of Pentacles right next to it. There's definitely something tangible, like tangible information, tangible treatment. You know, this can lead you to somebody else that can help you, type of thing. There's something that you can get from it. You know, like we have the gifts in the Six of Pentacles. So there's something that can actually come out of it, something tangible that you can have come out of it this week. Okay. Especially, like I said, if you go to the doctor. If you don't, just let shit happen. And then because we have the Two of Cups, it's also about like not going through shit alone, sharing shit, allowing other people to help you, talking to other people who have gone through it or dealt with it. You have two people here, and then you actually have two people here looking for help. So it's almost like it feels like there's a way in which this week, outside of just the health things and with the health things, that like people can come together. There's somebody that can help you do what you need to do, or there's somebody that can come together with you and like commiserate on what you're going through because they've gone through it, or they know how to um you know, where to start, or like places or things to tell you not to do, or something like that as well may come up this week in terms of specific things. um we have three cards that technically this is the Magician, but we have three cards that have the Pentacles in them. And so it feels like it's less about work, it's less about being rigid, it's less about being tight. You are using, it feels like this week you're using your money um, to try different things or to try something new. It also feels like, in terms of the Six of Pentacles, um, there are people that are in positions to help other people that are helping people. There are people that are looking for mutual aid this week that will be able to receive help for what they're looking for. Um, it just it like there's some cross connection here with that, and it being very amicable, it being very easy. It doesn't feel like pulling teeth. It feels like people coming together, situations that come together that are like meant to be, like they're destined. They're very like as above so below in terms of being brought together kismetly, you know. And so there's specifically people that are looking for help that can get help this week, or people that are able to give help this week. And don't doubt yourself or second guess yourself if you're the person that's able to give help. What you're able to do is amazing, and as much as you're able to do is amazing. So like if it's not as much as you wanted to do, or you know, if there's some caveat in your mind, like don't allow yourself to be set back by that. Like um you're doing what you can do because that's the type of person you are, and that will bring more to you and allow you to be able to do more. Okay, so I want to pull a few more cards. Oh, for some specific things that may happen this week. So surrender procrastination. Now is the time to jump on a goal instead of putting it off. Taking action will attract success. So again, I feel like that's with that Magician card, not so much in terms of work or your daily tasks or the things that you like, for some people begrudgingly have to do, but like the thing that you have been sitting on, the thing that you've been wanting to do, the thing that you've been thinking about that you haven't done the research about, or that you need to look into, or that you've been wanting to talk to somebody about, or that you're meaning to like get with this person to like pick their brain, you know, that kind of thing. Okay. Surrender to your full power. Your life is calling you to step into your full power rather than playing it small. So again, there's situations where you're able to come in and help somebody, and again, it doesn't have to be financial, right? But you're able to come in and help somebody. You have something that they can use, or vice versa. um, it's time for you to like step into the Magician energy of it, of like what you have, what's available to you, what you can use, calling in the help from all corners, utilizing your practice and the knowledge that you have to get the things, or to utilize the spirits or the energies that you can to like make your shit flourish, you know? And so I feel like that's part of also surrendering to your full power, and not playing it small. Surrender your need to always be right. Give others the gift of letting them be right. The gift. Give others the gift. Okay. So part of this, because we have this card, part of the gift is that your power is that you can walk away from some shit. You can give them the gift of being right, even if they're not, because that's how generous I am. I'm so generous. Sometimes I let stupid people think they're smart. Some people really liked that. So, yeah, do that, right? But anyway, surrender your need to always be right. Give others the gift of letting them be right. Be yielding, not rigid. This will help resolve conflicts and improve your relationships. Okay. And then the card we have on the bottom is surrender to wonder and awe. Open to the magic of every moment and sense the awe and wonder in all of life. This attitude will keep you connected to ecstasy and flow. Okay. So, again, like this week specifically, it's about like not being so rigid, not not allowing things to um like take a hold of you that have been keeping you in that endless cycle. We're separating ourselves from that. We're stepping into our full power. We're working on the things that we want to work on, the things that are fulfilling to us, the things that bring wonder and awe. And we're allowing ourselves to be open, right? We're not being too fixed and rigid in our thoughts or opinions and ideas. We're not trying to put those onto other people. We're not taking them if other people are trying to put them onto us. So like that's kind of the energy that comes up with these and the rest of the cards we got for the specific things that may happen this week. So let's wrap your reading up with some words of wisdom. Okay. So getting y'all some words of wisdom from our affirmative cards. Joyville, welcome, Joyville, no judgment. And then we have trust. No judgment. I release myself from any and all judgments. I find my inner critic, call it into my office, and tell it to take a vacation. As it leaves the room, I let out a sigh and begin to enjoy the joy of simply being. Who hired that guy anyway? Trust. I trust that everything will be okay in the end, partly because I simply know it in my gut, but also because it's way more fun to live with trust and confidence than to be a defensive wiener. Okay, so that was your words of wisdom. I think it just encompassed everything that we talked about already. And this was your reading pile too. So thank you so much for reading with me this week. Let me know how your week is. Let me know what's going on this week. Let me know how these messages resonate. If you'd like your own personal reading, book with me at wildheartbotanica.com. If you aren't already following the channel, follow the YouTube channel. If you aren't already listening to our podcast, Tiny Musings with Tea, definitely sign up. Excuse me. If you aren't already listening to our podcast, Tiny Musings with Tea, so that you can get our monthly collective readings, part 1 and 2 of March are out right now. Listen to that on Substack or on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. If you aren't already, follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Tiny Divinations. And again, thank you for reading with me. I'm so appreciative for y'all being here. Please let me know how your week is. And if you have another pile, I will see you there. If not, I will see you in our next reading. Welcome in pile 3. Let's get into your card. So, the card you have for the energy of your week is Rainbow Hope. On this card, we have a rainbow. We have like an abstract painting or finger painting made by a kid, and we have some magnets on the fridge. So, getting into the card, number one, some of the letters may come into play in terms of the energy. So, if you know people with these letters for their first name, K, C, R, E, V, and B, that those people may come into play this week. We have some numbers on the card as well. 9 2, 92 nines can be significant of endings or like things coming to an end or things beginning to come to an ending phase. Two is like the coming together of two ideas or two opposing forces. So that may be some of the energy that comes into our week. Specifically, the card is Rainbow Hope. So one of the biggest energies that comes into play in your week pile 3 is the need to have an unjaded or unbiased opinion and the need to have like um almost rose colored glasses on instead of taking them off, right? Being able to see things in like a glass half full kind of way this week, being able to, like a child, to be able to play with things and not hold on to things too tightly, or like it's almost one of those things where it's like you were so upset with, like, kids can be so upset one minute and then just completely play in the next minute like nothing ever happened. And it feels like that, like there's a way in which you need to kind of just like let things ride this week, or let things go, see things from a bright perspective, or be able to add laughter and play into things so that you're not holding on to things so tightly, or you're not um, making them bigger than they necessarily have to be, or that they really are, in a sense, right? So like that's part of what comes up with the hope in the rainbow. Also this week it may be that like you're coming out from after a dark time, or you're coming out from like having a rough couple of days, or a rough weekend, or a rough last week, or a rough couple of months, and you're like coming on the other side of that, right? Rainbows come after rainstorms. So there also may be some kind of energy where this week feels just like easier or lighter, or like situations or tables are turning for you as well. So let's pull a few more cards and see what other energies we have at play this week. Okay, so let's see what else we got. Obstacles, mountains. We have protection, evil eye. We have not relationships. Okay. All right. So we have a few things going on, and then just we have coins, good luck at the bottom. So part of the reason why the hope energy comes up, why we're not supposed to hold on to things, why we need to like flow and take things lightly, maybe because we have things that we are working our way through, we're having to get through. Like I said, the rainbows come after the rainstorm. So for some people, you may be still feeling like you're in the rainstorm, or like there's still clouds, or like there's still things that need to be cleared, or like things that you're trying to get through or get to the other side of. Okay. We have the not in relationships. So part of the obstacles this week may come from difficult relationships, like difficult interactions with other people, or a relationship that is difficult that you have to deal with this week, and or things just being kind of like difficult in your relationship this week, or your relationship with other people. And again, that can be familial relationships, that can be romantic relationships, um, that could be friendships. You know what I mean? So that's part of what I feel like comes up, because we definitely have a knot, which is something like, to me, can be something getting stuck, and it looks like they're trying to get it out. It doesn't look like you're necessarily trying to tie the shoe. It looks like, I mean, it could be going together, but I don't know. If to me, if it was a knot that was supposed to be bound, it would be. In this card, it looks like it's either about to be, or it was taken out of. So again, if you're somebody that's like moving through something with your relationship, um, don't hold on to it. Don't make it like this is just like who we're gonna be forever. You know what I mean? Like sit in the fact that like this is just a phase, or a time, or a moment in time. You know what I mean? Like find the like the the ways in which you can like see the brighter side, or see what the good outcome of the situation can be, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it feels like and again, this, I would not encourage y'all to stay in a situation that was not right. That's not what we're saying, babes. It's not what we're saying. We're saying that sometimes people fight and shit is a little contentious for a couple of days, or a week, and it's not really who y'all are. It's just where y'all at right at that point or that moment. You know what I mean? Like you don't fight. Let's say you don't fight with your sister all the time, or you don't fight with your boyfriend all the time, or what. You know what I mean? But this week y'all are just like going at it. That is not because like this is what we're gonna be now. We're just gonna be people that fucking argue. No, no. This is just what's happening right now this week. You know what I mean? And like there are some things that we just need to work out, and there's some things that we need to get through to get to the other side. And that's all it is, right? And if we remember the hope card, then we can kind of remember that and not take things too seriously, or allow them to seem longer or bigger than they actually are. In the middle of these two, you have the evil eye protection. And then even on the bottom, you have the coins and good luck. Okay. So whatever is going on this week, whatever obstacles or things that you have to untangle, whatever miscommunications or, struggles that you go through this week, there's definitely a way that you are protected, that you are able to get through it. You have an aloe plant on here on this card as well. And aloe is a super healing plant, and so like to me it's all purpose, you know what I mean? It's like something that you like go to, you put on this, you put on that. So it's like whatever happens, whatever you're moving through, or whatever obstacles or like situations try to tie you up, you're not only protected in the sense that it's not going to harm you, it's not going to be as bad as it could be, but you have a tool, the tools, the fortitude, the because aloe, it's like the outside of the plant is hard, then you have the inside, knowledge or the inside power to be able to like heal or have the tool to like move through the situation. Okay. Because again, you have these two cards around it, but then you have this one in the middle, which says to me that like you or what's inside of you, like the aloe, has the ability to move through the things that are coming at you or coming to you. And that not only are you protected, but that luck is on your side. Okay. That you have the energy of success and luck and like a magic that helps you to move through these things either faster or quickly or in a way that you're unscathed, um, in a way that other people aren't, or something like that. You know what I mean? So that is what I'm getting from the energy of the cards that we have here. Let's move into some specific things that may happen this week. Okay, so moving into some specific things that we may see this week. Our magician is back. We had our magician in pile 3, or excuse me, pile 2. The Wheel of Fortune, the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Swords. Huh. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, what's this? The Star card. Okay. Okay, so we have a couple of different things happening in terms of specific things. Like I said, we definitely have some ups and downs going on this week. We have the Wheel of Fortune. So there may be ups and downs in terms of things that happen this week, or a specific situation may be up and down. You may be feeling up and down this week. It like it could go a number of different ways, it feels like. It also feels like in terms of if people are like doing something new or trying something, or like you you feel like you have an answer for something or an action or solution for something, and then you may have to go back to the drawing board. But like you are very much a person, it feels like, for some people, who are determined, and or you are like you're willing to kind of do whatever it takes to get it done. And so part of what will help you get it done is to sit back. Number one, the answer lies, it feels like, in your emotions. So from the Queen of Cups to the Queen of Swords, it feels like you're supposed to sit with the like the whys, or sit with the emotions or the feelings that come up with what you're doing, and like moving through the emotions of it, moving through the feelings of it, moving through what comes up or what other people are meant to feel by it, will help you be able to make a plan, will help you to be able to get to the bottom of it, will help you to be able to come up with solutions, or know which way to go, or to like make a decisive, actionable next move. You know what I mean? Like it feels like you need to sit base, like we have these two cards sitting literally, but it feels like you need to kind of step back. Because we have the magician card, it feels like there are people who want to do kind of like try everything, or try what's at their disposal, or do, and part of what is the issue is that you're doing, instead of stepping back and figuring out why we're doing, or stepping back and figuring out the emotional, like uh the emotional push or the emotional pull to what you're doing, which then helps you to make a more actionable and balanced plan. You know what I mean? Separately, there feels like there are things that people are sitting with. There are feelings and emotions that may come up this week that you need to sit with and deal with. so that you're able to, like I said, be able to think, to have a clear mind, to be able to come up with better solutions. There may be like an emotional blockage that may be keeping you from being able to make decisive or analytic decisions. And so part of what you need to do is like really just take time to sit with what's happening, and then to move on to, like I said, to making a plan. Um, Technically, in these cards, well, be in these two cards, even in this magician card, there's no motion. Like this person is motioning with their hands, but there's no movement with their feet. They're not moving out of that space. These people are not moving out of the space that they're in, right? So there's something about needing to sit in the space that you're in, to clear out, to make an actionable plan to move forward. And then when you move forward, it'll be more balanced. There'll be more energy for flow, or for things to actually be successful, or like hope there, you know what I mean? There's It's one of those things where it's like, and this may be for some people specific that you want to do this, it's almost like doing a work to clear your roads, or to unblock your way, and then being able to have then this clear space. And then let's say you did another work that was like enhancing your luck, or your wealth, or your money. So we're just like adding now in this beautiful prosperous energy to this clear road, and now it's being filled with what we want it to be filled with. And so like that's kind of the energy of the star in this. It like feels like balance in a sense, you know what I mean? It feels like um doing these things allows you to be able to balance your body and your mind, or your emotions, and your mental capacity, you know what I mean? Which then allows you to actually do, like I said, we're sitting here, and then we're actually doing here. So we're able to pour into, or to make things work from a different place. Because we have the person in the star card who is naked, she's unburdened, she is kind of free to like have inspiration flow, and have decisions come to her, and have ideas come to her, or to know, where to put the energy, or what paths to take, right? And you have all these stars above her, so, or them I should say. And so we have that celestial connection, we have the connection with spirit, we're utilizing all of those things. This also, Queen of Cups, could also not just be emotions, but a connection, and sitting down and connecting back with spirit, or with our spiritual team, with our spiritual practice. We talked about our ancestors in a different pile. So if you got that pile and you're in this one, then that may be what it's talking about as well. Or sitting with your ability to connect with other sides and other dimensions, again, so that you're able to get answers, get clarity, get information, to then be able to make a plan, to have things come to you, to be able to put things in order. Okay, so like that's what I'm getting from these cards in terms of specific. Let me pull a few cards from the power of the surrender to see if there's any other specific things coming up for us this week. And I hope that made sense, y'all. I apologize, I was being distracted by my dog, so I was telling y'all, but at the same time, I felt like a little bit of me was not like here. I was here, but I hope it doesn't come out that way. Anyway, let me get this card. It just fell. Okay, so we have surrender to your full power. Your life is calling for you to step in to your full power rather than playing it small. We have surrender to spirit. Once you've done everything you can to achieve a goal, turn the situation over to the divine. Let spirit work its magic for you. Surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. Let go of limiting ideas about yourself that originate from the past. Then you can own your power and soar in your life. And then we have surrender to play. Take a break from overthinking a goal. Do something fun. Play as a time of recreation and rejuvenation. Okay, so these are the cards we have for some specific things that may happen. Again, surrendering to spirit, sitting into your full power, which we have over this Wheel of Fortune card, excuse me, the Magician card, surrendering to spirit, and play coming in over this Wheel of Fortune, because again, things may happen this week, but we have to kind of move through these other phases to be able to get to a phase of being able to actually do. And again, even though we're trying to get somewhere, we're trying to get something done, we're trying to do something, play, fun, adding in lightness helps you to be able to actually um, get to where you're trying to go, or to be in the best shape to do it, in a sense, right? If you're just staying you know staying working on something, or staying worrying about something, or keeping your brain on something, then like your brain is not even at the best capacity to make the best decisions, or to get out of the situation what you actually want to get out of it. So being able to take breaks, take play, add in play, surrendering to spirit, not putting all the onus and responsibility on you, is part of what helps get you there. Okay. Then we have surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. Let go of limiting ideas about yourself that originate from the past. Then you can own your power and soar in your life. Okay, so there's also something this week about power that's really specific, and part of your power not being seen or not being owned or felt because of things that you believe about yourself, things that you've been told about yourself, things that happen to you that you're then bringing to the now as if they didn't help you change or become different, or some things that you're holding on to and doing still that then don't allow you to see yourself as different, because even though you know you want to be different, you're still moving or doing things in a certain way, right? And we're not owning our power, we're not sitting in our full power. Okay, so like these are all things that come up that may be a part of this week. Again, surrendering to play. So like specifically this week, doing things that feel good, adding in events that feel good, being around people that allow you to play and not think and not focus on whatever your goal is or your task is, or like work in general, is really important and pertinent, again, for you to be able to do the things that you want to do to the best capacity that you're able to do them. Okay, you have to take a break, you have to rest, you have to rejuvenate to be able to come back at 100, 110%. Okay, so like this is what I'm getting from the specific things that happened this week. Let's wrap your reading up with some words of wisdom. Okay, so wrapping up with some words of wisdom for this week. Okay, let's see. Sanctuary, generosity, and perseverance. Okay. I love that we got two bonus cards, because um, y'all had the play card and the surrender. So it seems on brand. Sanctuary. Good for you. It seems you've earned some time away from the chaos of life. It could be as small as a bubble bath, or as big as a trip. Or maybe it's a small trip to a big bubble bath, or a normal sized trip to a tiny bubble bath. Or maybe you tripped and fell into somebody's bath. Whatever it is, it's waiting for you with open arms. Just pick your favorite sanctuary and unplug for a bit, especially if a bath is involved. Generosity. I give generously to those around me, no matter how much or how little I have. I know there is more than enough to go around, and that is key to allowing it to keep going around without stopping. If I stop the flow, I'm like the one person at the stadium who doesn't do the wave. And then perseverance. It seems you're on a massive journey right now, and this card has arrived to remind you that you will reach the other side. The mountain, and we got the mountain in the obstacle card. Okay, okay. The mountain you're climbing is huge and formidable, but so is your ability to climb it. Okay, surrender to that full power, baby. You don't need to enjoy it, you just need to tackle it. Complain if that makes the job easier. Blow off steam. You think mountain climbers get to the top of Everest on inspirational quotes? No way. They're grunting and crying and cursing like freaking pirates. That just doesn't sell a lot of posters. Okay. So if you got to cry and scream and grunt your way through this week, or through some things that happened this week, then do that, because again, like it said, you will reach the other side. Okay. Sanctuary is coming. Okay. If it's not already here, and it may be available within the things that you're persevering, so that you're able, like I said, again, to maintain and get to the other side of it. Okay, so this is the words of wisdom we have for you this week, pile three. And this was your reading for this week. So thank you so much for reading with me. I appreciate y'all so much. Um, if you would like your own reading, book with me at wildheartbotanica.com. Please let me know how your week is, how things are going, how these messages resonate throughout the week. If you aren't already following the YouTube channel, follow me here. If you aren't already following our podcast, Tiny Musings with T, follow the podcast so that you can get part 1 and 2 of our March collective readings and all of our monthly collective readings. You can listen on Apple Podcasts, on Substack, on Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're not already following me on TikTok or IG, follow me at Tiny Divination. So, again, thank y'all so much. I appreciate you so much for being here, for letting me read with you. If you have another pile, I will see you there. If not, I will see you in our next reading.